Can I ask you this? Is Mamata Banerjee, your party leader at the moment, aware that you've been in touch with Amit Shah, Narendra Modi, Biman Bose?
Let me tell you, no, Biman Bose, I have been in touch. He's a friend. Everybody.
But is she aware?
Yachuri is a friend. Mr. Karat is a friend.
Come back to my question. Is she aware that you've been in touch with Narendra Modi?
If you are doing something illegal, then you should be concerned whether somebody is aware or not. You are doing something for the country, and I don't think so. You should be concerned at all. It's a free India, and it will be a sad day when somebody says, "Oh my God, why did you go to that party?" No, if you are doing something wrong, first of all, your conscience has to be clear.
Now,
if you are going to go somewhere with a motive, then it's a different story.
You said to the Hindu this morning when you were asked that you have not decided about leaving Trinamool to join BJP, but you added, "Whatever I do, I will do it with dignity."
Certainly.
Can I ask
and
you,
let me tell you
can
one
I ask
thing.
you a question? Is there a dignified way of parting company with the Trinamool and going to the BJP?
See, I'll tell you what is dignity means. If you are going to fight election tomorrow and you are just meeting somebody and changing the party just to get a ticket to fight. If I would have done this thing 7 months back, just before the Lok Sabha election, then I would have been an opportunist. But politics is not about being opportunist, it's being about taking the opportunity to do good to the people and take that platform. But in that sense, I can again tell you, if I am going to leave a party, just let me, it's very important. If I am going to leave a party, who will be the first one to know? It will be Mamata Banerjee. And that is what dignity is all about. Because if you are going to do something which your conscience doesn't allow, then don't do it.
Have you discussed the concerns that you have about the Bengal politics with Mamata Banerjee?
She is a very tall leader, and I'm sure she also is aware, and I'm sure she will also agree. You think she will approve it?
When you say, "I'm sure she also is aware," have you discussed them, or has she just been made aware by reading them in the papers?
See what happens. There are certain things which are within the party, and you don't talk about like what you have within the cabinet. Let's remain.
So these have been discussed within the party.
I think she is a very tall leader.
So these have been discussed within the party.
And she is also equally, I have no hesitation in telling you, Mamata Banerjee would be equally concerned as I am concerned, as you may be concerned.
Well, maybe, but she doesn't show it, she doesn't talk about it. You have talked about it.
We need to change the culture of violence, and I don't like it because I have seen too much of violence in my
Can I come back to something you said a moment ago just now in this interview? You also said it this morning to the Hindu. It's not opportunism, but one should not lose the opportunity to serve one's country.
Sure.
If Mr. Modi were to offer you a challenging role, would you accept?
Let him offer. And I think come to this thing that you could be in any party. If there is some role offered to you for betterment of the country, what is the problem? This is a new India, it's a new era. The world is moving very fast, and I have no hesitation in saying yes, I would. But not for the sake of just to remain in power. Everything has to be meaningful. I'll give you another example if you have 2 minutes. Obama and Hillary fought like crazy during the primaries. But after that, Hillary became Secretary of State under Obama. So this is maturity, and I think time has come where Indian politics needs to mature, and you don't read too much. And don't be opportunist. I don't need, there is nothing which I need. God has given everything. There is just nothing which extra can be given to me. I've been there, done that. I'm not looking for a job.
You said something to NDTV yesterday. You said, "I want to change the DNA of Indian politics.
Certainly.
And for that, I will do whatever it takes."
I will talk about it. And I think it's time, people like you, your studios, we must debate that this negativity in politics has to go.
Can I ask, does doing whatever it takes to change the DNA of Indian politics include joining the BJP?
That's a very small thing. I think it takes much larger. It takes all of us together. One Dinesh Trivedi is insignificant. All of us sitting together has to debate, and I'm positive about it. You will see the change. I'm talking today all these things. I'm sure a lot of people will catch up to there. There's going to be a public debate that Why should we be
Can
so
I
scared
ask
of,
you-
like for example, if everybody is praising our Prime Minister all over the world, is it a crime for me to appreciate my Prime Minister? He's our Prime Minister, he's your Prime Minister.
Mamta Banerjee doesn't praise and appreciate him.
I cannot compare myself with anybody. As I said, she's a very tall leader.
Will she be unhappy hearing your praise of Narendra Modi?
When I do something, I have no fear. Rabindranath Tagore has said, where the mind is without fear and the head is held high. My mind is absolutely without fear, my head
Can
is
I
held
ask
high.
you up front a
Please.
simple, straightforward question?
Please do.
Are you considering parting company with the Trinamool?
I have never done anything with a personal motive.
I'm not saying there's a personal motive.
If there is something, like I said, I'll be upfront. And there is no motive. When I say this thing, please believe me. There is just no motive. Tomorrow,
Yeah,
if this triggers something and something else happens, I do not know. I'm not predicting the future. But please believe me, there is no motive. I'm not designing.
I completely believe there's no motive, so the motive doesn't come into it at all. I'm not questioning your integrity. But I get the clear feeling as I hear you talk that there is a gap opening up between you and the Trinamool.
No, absolutely the ideas don't match up, because there are certain values which I believe, and I'm sure they have their own thinking, but I have certainly a difference of opinion. I would not like to disrupt the house the way we are doing it. So there is a difference. There is a difference.
You're honest and candid enough to say there is a difference of
Sure.
opinion. How serious are those differences of opinion?
No, you see, these things are democratically done, and I don't think so I should feel shy about it, because that's the way democracy works. I don't think so I'm abusing anybody.
Absolutely.
I don't think so I'm denigrating anybody. That's the way it is.
Dinesh Trivedi, are these differences of opinion between you and Trinamool becoming wider by the day?
No, there was a difference. Why? Talk about the railway budget. There was a big difference. And I was very clear, it was Mamta Banerjee, TMC, who had put me as the railway minister. I resigned.
After the railway budget, when you
resigned.
were asked to resign, forced out in fact by Mamta Banerjee.
No, there was no force. There was no force, because
you were not critical of her. You were loyal and silent.
I'm not still. See,
but now you're talking about differences of opinion with Trinamool.
Karan, please understand. My loyalty is not to an individual. My loyalty is first to the country, and it will always remain. I have not come into politics for being loyal. I think the royalty has gone. Loyal is a different thing. You follow certain principles.
You said something very important. You said my loyalty is first to the country,
always.
Not to an individual.
Always.
Does that mean that your loyalty will be first to the Prime Minister and then to Trinamool?
First to the country.
But the Prime Minister is the Prime Minister of the country.
First to the country. Because country is beyond the Prime Minister also. Please understand, first to the country.
Okay.
And then to anybody. Because when, again, I tell you...
I'm asking you bluntly. The people of India want to hear you explain just one simple thing. Are you coming close to parting company with Trinamool?
I told you, I had made a speech more than 10 days back somewhere. The media has just picked it up now.
Yeah, but you aren't answering my question.
So I'm just telling you, so I have not done this. If I want to leave Trinamool Congress, who will stop me? I can always do that, but that is not the purpose. And I can tell you on your studio just now, I'm not going to do that tomorrow. That is not the purpose.
But not
the purpose.
Not tomorrow, I accept. But is it likely in the next week, 10 days, 2 weeks?
That is not the purpose. That's not the motive. That's not the reason. But at the same time, if something happens, I'm not predicting the future, but this is not being done to the objective that I leave TMC tomorrow.
Okay. How many other people in Trinamool think the way you do? The papers are speculating there could be 3-4 more, including ministers.
I can only speak for myself, and I have spoken that I do respect Mamta Banerjee. I do respect the way things should be done, because I have been taught right from my childhood to be disciplined, and I will always remain that way.
My last question, Dinesh Trivedi, the surprising thing is that despite the focus in the newspapers and TV channels on what looks like differences and dissent between you and Trinamool, and you've accepted today there are differences, you candidly accepted it. Trinamool has...
May I just use one sentence please? Differences is not defiance. We always, Vallabhbhai Patel had difference with Gandhi, Gandhi had with Nehru, Nehru had with Subhash Chandra Bose. That is not defiance. Differences in mature politics is not defiance.
Absolutely. The interesting thing is, despite your praise for Narendra Modi or your implied criticism for Congress, on both counts, Trinamool is silent. In fact, there's only a one-word response from Derek O'Brien, and it's ignored. How do you explain that?
I don't need to. I don't need to. I just know what I am telling, and whatever I am talking is keeping the bigger picture of the country in mind.
Okay.
That's about it.
My last question. Are you at all worried?
Worried?
That you're precipitating a situation, or are you in fact hoping, maybe I should phrase it differently, that you're precipitating a situation where you're expelled so that you retain your MP position?
See,
which otherwise, if you resigned, you'd have to give up.
I just said, if the mind is with fear, then the head is not held high. The mind has no fear. Please understand, we are so fortunate, Karan, you and I and so many of us, that we live so comfortably. There are people who do not have hospital bed. There are people who do not have education, no shelter.
Then
and that is what it is. We have to be fearless, and we have to only fear if we do something wrong.
You have been fairly fearless, but not as fearless as many had hoped you would be. But I'm grateful that you came to the studio to explain your thinking, and you made two things clear. And I want to repeat them for the sake of the audience. You've accepted honestly and candidly that there are differences between you and Trinamool.
The philosophy.
Whatever, and also about protesting in the well of the House.
Sure.
And secondly, you've candidly accepted that you admire the Prime Minister, you agree with his development policies, and you would agree with many of the things that he's doing. You believe he is the best for India. Dinesh
At
Trivedi,
the moment, yes, certainly.
At the moment, yes. Dinesh Trivedi, thank you very much indeed. There we take a break, and then when we come back, a debate between the Aam Aadmi Party and the BJP over what they're offering Delhi and who's got the better offers to give the voters as they get ready for the election on the 7th. See you in a moment's time.